Hello and welcome to City Connections. I'm Steve Kime with the City of Enid. It's my privilege each week to bring a program that features the city government. Here we stand outside the Enid Event Center right here in Enid, Oklahoma on a cool, crisp morning. This segment is called City Connections Ask the Commissioner, and our special guest is Ward 5 Commissioner Tammy Wilson. Let's go inside and ask the Commissioner.
Enid, Oklahoma, from wheat fields to the economic hub of northwest Oklahoma. The social, medical, and educational center for the region. Enid is a safe and economic place to live, work, and raise a family. A city with an entrepreneurial spirit. Enid is a community overflowing with boundless opportunities, building an original heritage and pulsating with a vibrant quality of life. Now join Steve Kime as he brings another exciting edition of City Connections.
Well, welcome inside the Enid Event Center. Here we are at Central Court. This is pretty impressive right here. Commissioner, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Our guest on City Connections Ask the Commissioner is Ward 5 Commissioner Tammy Wilson. Well, right off the bat, Commissioner Wilson, why run for City Commission? What was the deciding factors for you to say, that's what I want to do?
Well, I've always been interested in government, and in fact I was a political science major in college, and just thought it was always something I wanted to be involved in. And the longer I lived in Enid and the more involved I got in the community, I decided that it was just something that I might think about someday. And then I was always very vocal about my opinions about everything, which people pretty much know that already. But
is that a prerequisite?
No,
okay.
No, I don't think so. I think they probably prefer people not to be. But and I just decided, you know, if I was going to comment about things and I was going to have an opinion about it, that I would put my money where my mouth was and do something about it. So I ran.
We have a series going on with City Connections called Ask the Commissioner, and we're interviewing all the commissioners, including Mayor Shuey, asking them all the same questions. And so everybody will be able to compare notes about, she said this and he said that. But before we get into those particular questions, here we are in the Enid Event Center. Center court, pretty impressive looking facility, basketball court, and you look at the seating around here. This is in Ward 5. So as a city commissioner in your backyard, how does this make you feel?
I'm pretty proud of this facility. I know it's been, you know, shrouded in a lot of commentary, but I think that this is going to be an amazing asset for our city. I'm very, very excited that we're here and that this is happening in my ward.
I can't imagine being on a high school team or junior high team playing in a facility like this. It's like you have arrived. It's just, and it's such a showcase.
It is, and I think that I think our city should be proud to be able to have this kind of facility for our kids to play in.
Well, it's exciting to see new and I guess just new and exciting things happening in Ward 5. My first question that I'm asking the other commissioners as well, what issues are, as a city commissioner, what issues are important to you and maybe to Ward 5?
Well, I think the issues that are important to our entire city as well as just my ward are economic development, retail development, quality of life issues. Those are all things that we deal with a lot pretty much on a daily basis. And you know, people don't understand that all of those things work together. You can't have one without the other. For instance, people will focus on things like, well, we want streets fixed. Well, in order to get the streets fixed, we have to generate the revenue to do that. And so, you know, we work on things like economic development and retail development to generate the sales tax base that we turn around and put into our infrastructure. And so, you know, and then people will say, well, we want higher paying jobs. Well, things like parks and trails and quality of life issues are what land us those bigger businesses that will bring those higher paying jobs. So every decision that we make is a small piece of a much bigger puzzle, and it all fits together, and we have to focus on all these different things to get those other things that people want.
I want to talk just a few moments about priorities. There's 6 commissioners and 1 mayor, right? Make up our city leadership. To you, what would be the priorities for you in Ward 5, but overall as the commission, what do you think the priorities are?
Well, I think our priorities are, you know, to maintain the successes that we've been seeing, to, you know, garner more success with the projects that we're doing. You know, the downtown revitalization is a big deal. is specifically for my ward, because it's a big, huge chunk of my ward. We have the housing development going in the northwest part of my ward, which is another big issue because we are facing a housing issue. So that's a big deal, and I think those are things that we're real cognizant of right now. But I think personally, one of my priorities is being accessible to people, answering their questions, letting them know that we're not this big mysterious group that no one ever sees. I want people to know that they can come to us and talk to us and ask us questions, and that we're going to be there to answer them for them. And I really try to maintain a good dialogue with the public a lot, because I want people to be able to ask us questions, and I want them to know what's going on in their community, because I feel like the more they know, I just think the more you know, it's a good thing.
I don't want this question to catch you off guard, but were you a basketball player?
I was not. I played 1 year in junior high school, but I did not play in high school.
Okay, well, I was going to encourage our viewers to stick around because we were going to shoot free throws or something. But
I might be able to hit a free throw.
But seriously, we have a few more questions for Ward 5 Commissioner Tammy Wilson. Thank you for staying with us on City Connections. Ask the Commissioner, and we'll have more questions for Commissioner Wilson right after this. Thank you for staying with us on City Connections. Ask the Commissioner. My special guest today is Ward 5 Commissioner Tammy Wilson. Commissioner Wilson, we've moved up to a higher level here at the Enid Event Center. And we had a great perspective of this huge facility at Center Court. Now we're up in the suite level, and then you look and see all of this. Do you have to pinch yourself every once in a while and say, wow, this is here?
Yeah, it's very exciting. Very exciting. Very happy to have it here.
I have a couple more questions for you in our segment today. What do you hope to achieve as City Commissioner?
Well, it's hard for me to say anything specifically, because we've seen so many changes happen so fast over the last few years. And I think that some people are kind of shocked by how quickly things are happening. We've seen, the new shopping center go in at the Homeland building. We've got a new housing development getting ready to come in with a new boulevard. We have parks. The parks have been a big issue for me, and we're getting ready to see some revitalization in our parks. Our downtown is flourishing, and all of these things have happened because of the decisions that the Commission have made over the last few years. And so I hope to maintain the momentum that we have going, and the mall will be coming along soon, and so I'm really excited to see that happen. We're going to be doing some major road work soon, so those are all exciting things that are happening too. So,
for our viewers, could you kind of just share with us? Of course, we're downtown, Ward 5. Can you kind of give us the geographical boundaries, I guess, of Ward 5? That way, say, I didn't know that Commissioner Wilson is my commissioner, and I live in this particular area.
Yes, on the east, the boundary is kind of the railroad tracks around 2nd Street, and it kind of jags over a little bit and gets a little bit strange in that area. But then going north, it's Willow is the boundary on the north, and then the boundary on the west is Oakwood, and then the boundary on the south side is O&K Garriott until you get to Cleveland, and then it cuts in and it goes from Cleveland down to Randolph and then up to Oakwood. So at the middle of downtown.
It sounds like directions that, well, you go to the first road on the right, when you see this big tree there, that's not the one. You want to go down and turn left at the other.
Yes.
Okay.
So I have the middle chunk of town, essentially.
Okay. All right.
But it goes pretty far.
Okay, let's look into that crystal ball, if you will. 10 years from now, a decade has passed by. Commissioner Wilson, what do you hope to see Enid at? I guess is my question.
In 10 years, I hope that we can look back and see all of the things that we're doing now. I hope we can look back and say those were really strong, good decisions. And I think like I said, things have been happening so quickly. It's coming with some growing pains for people, because for a very long time we weren't able to plan ahead very far. We didn't have the economic means to do that. So now we're kind of in a position where we can do that a lot easier, and we can make plans for the future. And I feel like that we're investing in our city and investing in ourselves, so that in 10 years we'll still have this strong, stable economy. We'll have all these new businesses to enjoy. We'll have new hotels. We'll have happy citizens. And I just really hope we can look back and think that these were good ideas.
During our interview this morning, one of the challenges that we faced was making a free throw.
Yes.
Both of us struggling to make a
We
free
did.
throw. Speaking of challenges, and I have people in the community say, well, when you talk to the commissioner, Steve, ask them this question. And that question is simply this: what are the challenges that you face as a city commissioner?
Well, a lot of the biggest challenges is time. It's very time consuming. It's much more time consuming than I think people realize. And even when you run, I don't think you realize how time consuming it can be. But that has a lot to do with how much you decide to put into it too. But and I invest a lot in it because it's important to me. So that is a big challenge, being a mom and working and all the things that I'm involved in. So the time is a big issue. Another big issue is just there's kind of a disconnect, that's been there a little bit, and just trying to gap that bridge between the people and the government, and trying to kind of get everybody on the same page is a little bit challenging sometimes too.
Well, thank you for spending time with us this morning. Thank you for your service to our community, because I realize that it's really not that glamorous, even though
No.
people may see you on television quite often on Pegasus. But again, thank you for your service
Thank
to
you.
Enid. And thank you for joining us on City Connections. Ask the Commissioner. We'll have a closing thought right after this. And today we've been talking about fire role, the code department's role, and property. To stretch it even further, we have one. What's a person to do?
There is a couple of ways.
And I'm conscious. So in closing, I want to say thank you to Keller Taylor for allowing us inside the Enid Event Center today to film our City Connections Ask the Commissioner. And of course, I want to say thank you to Commissioner Tammy Wilson from Ward 5 to spend a few minutes with us, asking her a few questions about what it's like to serve as a City Commissioner. And also special thanks to Penn Klein and Pegasus working behind the scenes and taping our show today. And thank you for viewing City Connections each week. We appreciate you. And until next time, we'll have another commissioner. Let's see if I can make a free throw. I actually made it. If you have a topic or a suggestion for a future City Connections program, please email me at asksteve@enid.org. The email address again is asksteve@enid.org.